Ready for what? Darn tootin'! It's time for some good old-fashioned Zap apple jamming! Yes, ma'am! We got a daggle's worth of goods to gather before the harvest! Come on! Come make Zap apple jam! You're big right to use, kid! Hey, you bite it, you bite it!
Yeah, I can't deny I can relate to this. Get your kid ass out of here. Hello, I'm Discord Jedi Knight, and as much as I love my family, they can be a little embarrassing at times. And just like me, Apple Bloom in Season 2, Episode 12, Family Appreciation Day, she learns that lesson too. It all starts out with Granny Smith waking everyone up shouting about Zap apples, and they need to make jam out of them. But to get them to grow, they need to do a few funny things to make it happen. Granny Smith is excited too. When she's a little on the old side and is easily forgetful, with short-term memory loss, she calls her silly nicknames and dresses her funny. Yeah, not gonna lie, I was raised by my grandmother. Growing up, she was one of the sharpest, strongest, bravest, and kindest persons I have ever known. But as I myself grew older, I noticed how forgetful she is, forgetting something I told her just 10 minutes ago. She always calls me silly names, which I don't mind at all. And she constantly compliments me on the way I dress, sort of embarrassing me in front of my friends or girls I'd bring over. But even so, she's my grandmother. That's just what grannies do. And the sad truth is, I am slowly watching my hero deteriorate before my eyes. It's only gotten worse, and her constant short-term memory loss is a reminder that I have a short time with her in this life. I am grateful to her and for everything she has done for me. I am thankful that I have had a great relationship with her even to this day. I cherish the small moments I get when I see her. Usually, it's about once a month. I drive by her place, have dinner with her and the family. It's always a fun time, even if no, I'm not gonna lie, her constantly asking me the same question every 10 minutes can be pretty annoying. But just like Granny Smith in this episode, she's my grandmother. And I wouldn't want that any other way. She's awesome, and it's truly a shame to see her degrade as she gets older. But it also reminds me that I have to cherish the short time I have with her and, for that matter, the short time I have in my own life. Sorry, I didn't mean to get so emotional there, but this episode truly reminds me of my own family situation. Back to the episode. So the problem starts when Iman points out just how embarrassing her grandma is, and it makes her start to feel conscious about it. Meanwhile, at her school, Family Appreciation Day is in full swing, and she has to bring someone in to talk about what they do. But thanks to the Zap Apples, Apple Bloom's Big Sis and Bro can't make it. Unfortunately for her, her bully mentions Granny Smith in hopes she will be embarrassed. She and her friends try everything they can to prevent Granny Smith from coming stalling her, stalling the teacher, pretending to be sick, and other hilarious hijinks. But in the end, Granny comes to school and tells the story of how she found out about Zap Apple Jam. It also turns out her family were pilgrims who used to collect seeds. Eventually, they came to Canterlot, a more permanent home, so Princess Sunbut gave them some land next to the Everfree Forest, and the town Ponyville was born. It turns out she once went into the Everfree Forest looking for food because her family was hungry. She rushed home, tried to escape from Timberwolves, and soon planted the seeds of that weird dapple. It provided her family with food, and through her years of studying, she now knows how to produce the perfect jam, even if some of the steps don't make sense. The apples don't make sense either. And what's the fun in making sense anyway? I like how throughout the episode, we think Granny Smith is just crazy talking to jars, painting polka dots on the walls, but in the end, it all makes sense. I also love the way she explains it. Magic does as it does. It doesn't have to make sense. It's magic. It has its own set of rules it has to follow. And when following those rules, it can sometimes seem a little stranger than normal. Apple Bloom learns how amazing. Her granny isn't as proud of the apple family and to help make the apple jam. Which, by the way, is what Diamond Tiara's family sells to make their money, once again proving that you work together to create harmony. One of my favorite things in stories is, yes, the character scene and grows people as the plot goes on, but it's also a lot of fun to explore and learn the history of a new world. My Little Pony Season 2, especially, is a great source of world building for MLP. I enjoyed learning about how the town came to be. The fact that Diamond Tira's family wouldn't be able to make ends meet if it weren't for the money her family makes off of the Apple family is awesome to hear. She's lucky Apple Bloom is so sweet because if I were bullied by some rich snob, only to find out they only have that money because of the hard work my family put into it, I would totally rub it in her face every chance I got. An interesting episode idea would be if Apple Bloom and her family went on strike because of how Diamond treats Apple Bloom, costing both sides money and then, at the end, learning that they need to work together if they're going to survive as a business. After all, even if the Apple family can sell the crops straight to the customer with no middleman, they sell apples all around Equestria. How on earth are they going to transport all those products? Nowadays, we have the internet allowing us to sell directly to people, but without mailmen or delivery workers, it would become much more difficult to transport. I could see the Apple family, with the help of Applejack's friends, starting a mail business, but even so, they'd find it nearly impossible to keep up with demand because they would be spending all their time traveling and transport goods, leaving little time to grow such products. So, they would need the rich family's help, and on the flip side, with no product to sell, the rich family would start going out of business, losing tons of money. Because of this, Diamond and Apple Bloom would immediately rush to meet each other, try to play it cool, and eventually let it slip, and they're going bankrupt without each other. Diamond could then apologize and promise to be less mean to Apple Bloom, and Apple Bloom would apologize for the whole stupid argument, and they would become friends, working together after that. Sorry for my little rant there, but I just had the idea. Tell me what you think about in the comments down below, but a missed opportunity, perhaps, but that could have been a great lesson for some people nowadays. Don't you think? Lol. But if they did it, they would end up ending this feud on a much different note, and I prefer the note they did end up ending on. More on that later. Back to this episode.
I'd give this episode, I was going to give it a low 7, but after really thinking about it, I think I'll give it a high 7 or a 7.5. This isn't my favorite episode or anything, but I do love its lesson. That's for sure. And with that said, do you ever play forests? Have you ever noticed how many strange things come out of there? Yeah, I wonder why that is. At some point, I think I want to do a video on discussing the forest and its strange origins. Be sure to subscribe to see that in the future, but for now, feel free to watch my entire Season 1 review right here. And let me know down in the comments below about your own families. Like, share, subscribe, and remember, friendship is magic. And so are grandparents.